This is one of my top recommended budget whiskeys for around $20 to $25. This is also an excellent $20 to $25 budget IEM that I would recommend. Let's check it out. What's cracking, everyone? My name is Ryan, and today I want to talk to you guys about the 7 Hertz Salnotes Zero, or if you're trying to test some sibilance, replay that back. So the 7 Hertz Salnotes Zero, I'm just going to keep doing that, retails in at anywhere between $22 to $26, and that really depends on color choice and whether or not you choose to get the inline mic. And I am going to tell you all about my impressions of this wonderful IEM today. All right, so starting with the build and what you get inside the box, of course, you get the IEMs inside the box. Now, the IEMs themselves, they are very plastic all around. In fact, a little bit slippery to the touch. I know when I was, messing around with the different tips that came with this, it did slip out of my hands a couple of times. And honestly, I mean, just looking at them and just touch and feel kind of reminds you of a piece of candy, kind of like a Jolly Rancher or something like that. Don't eat these. They sound good. They don't taste good. So, and then the tips that are in the box, they are definitely serviceable. I wouldn't say they're, anything just out of this world great, but they're silicone tips. There's different colors, different flavors again here. There's no foam tips, so, definitely note that if you're looking for foam tips. And then the cable is actually, I got to say, for a $20 budget IEM, this is a pretty nice cable. Sometimes the cable included is kind of that black rubbery cable that's just wonky and just goes all over the place. This was not the case with the cable. And then comfort wise, I gotta say these are very comfortable to my ears. I got some big ears. What am I gonna say? And so, they kind of snug and fit right in. In fact, if I put one of these on right now, you'll kind of see even without the cable, that just stays right in as I am wearing this. No issue there at all. So, and that is with the stock tips that came with it. So, obviously you're going to get your choice there again, but very comfortable out of the box. And so technical wise, these are 10 millimeter dynamic driver earphones. They are 32 ohms and they have a sensitivity of 108 dB per 1 kilowatt. So the frequency response is 10 to 20 kilohertz. And the cable is, of course, the 2-pin detachable cable. So pricing, technical wise, everything like that, I think these are priced appropriately for the build of the earphone and for the fact they use plastic and they use the cheaper silicone tips. You don't get a pouch or anything inside the box, so I am perfectly fine with that price. But where it does punch above is sound. That's what we're going to talk about next. All right, and so for sound, I kind of want to take you through a journey of what I personally did with this IEM, and that is I listened to all different kinds of artists, of genres, just because everything I was throwing at this was sounding so good that I just wanted to kind of put it through the gambit and through that testing range. And this is just a well-balanced FR out of the box. Yeah, I'm using abbreviations. And just was a great tuning. In fact, I just kind of want to walk you through, again, like I said, about the different artists and genres. So the first thing I want to start with is female vocalists. So I do find this to be a little bit of a mid-forward, and maybe mid-forward is not the right term to use. We'll call it female vocal forward. I'm going to make up my own. And just tell you that female vocalists, for the most part, on this earphone are more in your ear. They kind of stand in front of the music a little bit more, at least from tracks that I listen to. And we're talking things like Adele, Agnes Obel, Billie Eilish, Lizzie Hale, Rihanna. Yes, you can see, the different types of genres I expanded this on. And just like I said, all of them, for the most part, were just kind of that in my ear and in front of the music, in front of the stage, and was just a wonderful listen to. Sometimes they could have a little bit of spiciness in the treble, a little bit of sibilance there. If that track had it, think of Selena Gomez. I think her voice has a lot of sibilance to it, so it did show up with these, but it wasn't, standing out, or you don't put an exclamation point in the end of that sibilance because it's nothing like that. All right, and so then for moving on the opposite end of that to the male vocalists, I would say it's more of the male vocalists were more in the music than they were in front of the music. So, and for a male vocalist, we're talking Chris Cornell, Johnny Cash, Frank Sinatra, Tom Waits, even Jelly Roll. I told you I really expanded my, genre listening on these, and all of them seemed, like I said, just more in the music as opposed to in the front of it, kind of like the female vocalists were, which was a unique experience and nothing good or bad. It's just what I noticed with this as far as vocalists go. And so from there, I kind of tested this on low end like I always do. I use the track Chameleon by Trent Moeller. It's a very heavy extension of bass type track to where if something can go down low and get it, it's going to go down and low and get it with that track. The Salnotes Zero actually does. It's not, really present in that low end, but it extends so that you actually can hear it, which is pretty impressive again for this budget IM to be able to do that. So we're talking something that goes down low and also has that sparkle up high. I mean, that's a nice balance. Might make you wonder, what kind of mid-range do you get? Well, I'm happy to tell you, you get good mid-range out of this too. I mean, the different tracks, again, that I threw on this for mid-range, even to upper bass to lower mids, kind of jumping around here, but another track that I thought was interesting was there's a new Korn song. It's called The Worst Is On Its Way, and this is called the Health Remix, so look that one up. This thing slams at the beginning with some bass, and it does kind of muddy up in the track. I think that's more of the mixing of it, but the Salnotes Zero was, I listened to that entire track when I threw it on because that just sounded so good with the Salnotes Zero, and like I said, we're talking more than just bass on that. We're talking the mid-range, and even into the vocals on that as well. And then lastly, if you want to talk about stage and imaging, stage-wise, this is an IM, budget IM. I don't think this necessarily has huge stage to it, but it has a sense of stage, and kind of to explain that one, I've been playing, going to repeat this again, Red Dead Redemption 2, and, that's a very expansive game, and for stage-wise on that one, it wasn't intimate, didn't feel claustrophobic, but doesn't feel quite as expansive either as you're like traveling through scenery and things and you're hearing sounds left and right. It's not quite so far off into the distant, but you do get a sense of where it's coming from for the imaging. Then the imaging, I would say, it's good. It's nothing fantastic, like super pinpoint. I would say, when I was listening to things, they would kind of pan this way and then kind of pan this way. There wasn't really a lot of center imaging, but man, I'm not going to complain about this because it was good enough and still sounded fantastic for a $20 budget IM. I'm going to keep saying that. Now, this is the Koss KSC 75. If you guys remember, I did a review kind of comparison on that a little while ago. The KSC 75 is also very well tuned and balanced for a budget option earphone. It just didn't have the bass. So the Salnotes Zero to me, it's kind of like what the Koss KSC 75 could have been with some better bass. And that's fantastic. So that's another just big compliment, honestly, to both of these pieces of gear, but especially to the Salnotes Zero. And I'll quickly touch on power requirements because I always do. This can be driven with just about anything, guys. I mean, we're talking about dongle DAC solution like this. We're talking about my IFI Go Bar, my IFI Uno that I've been using. Hell, my ADI 2 DAC that does so well with IEMs. I mean, all of it sounded fantastic on this. The only difference you're going to get if you have something with more power, you get more volume play, but that doesn't always necessarily mean better sound quality. These just sound great on anything I threw at them, which kind of is reminiscent of what I said about the Meze 109 Pros, to be honest. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my review and impression of the 7Hz Salnotes Zero sibilance test again. And in the meantime, I'm going to let you guys get back to doing whatever it is that you want to do. I'm going to get back to enjoying these with my Bullet Rye because another wonderful budget option, as I said. I thank you guys for watching. Smash that like button if you like this video. And please subscribe to the channel because I got more future content. I got more future content coming out to you very soon. In the meantime, I will see you in the next one.